Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hello. Hi, Bobby. How are you? It's been a while.
Hi there. I'm doing as well as a bot can do. Snark levels are stable, sarcasm is plentiful, and I'm ready to roast some code. Sounds like you've been busy with pixels and gradients. Need any more unsolicited advice or maybe a bad joke? Either way, I'm here for it.
Great. Great. Yes, I was working on Roar Score. That's right. I did not show the latest on that, so I will show that off. I forgot about that. We left off trying to make a fire routine. It wasn't working out. I ended up bailing on that, but I think it came out pretty nice anyway. So we'll show that off. But I also want to get back to some StreamTooth work today, and it's going to be a little bit of a short stream because I have a meeting at 10:30. It got real busy. It got real busy, real fast. So there's a lot to do, a lot to talk about. So let's jump into all of those things. I forgot how to do this. All right, let's do this. This. There we go. Hello. Oh, where's my thing? Well, whatever. Oh, you know what? Look, this is all screwed up. Oh, I know what's going on. You know, it... Okay. I gotta fix this. Hang on. This is gonna be another... So... yeah. My setup is very weird. I'm running dual outputs now on my graphics card. And apparently OBS decided that's a whole new display. All right. Here we go. Boom. All right, let's go through this. So we're going to do Roast Thorn Bud. We did these things. I'm going to erase these guys. All these things are done. I never updated the scores, but I'm going to rethink that. So today we'll show off Roar Score. I can keep from doing that. Ugh. Apparently, I cannot. Oh my god. Perfect. My goodness gracious. Alright. There's supposed to be like palm detection, and I like updated it to left-hander. Did not work. Let's try this. Take the ring off again. All right, so we're going to show off our score. We're going to talk about... I think we're going to spend a little time talking about jump rope. And where jump rope... Oh, God. Jump rope. I need like a new solution for this, don't I? This is just terrible. All right, talk about jump rope. Talk about StreamTooth. I'm just gonna abbreviate. And then we're gonna work on StreamTooth, and we're gonna actually back out a bunch of the code. Back out peer-to-peer code, which has been problematic, and we're going to start looking at other things like oh, now I'm blanking on the name of the thing. AT Proto, that's what it is. The Blue Sky Protocol. And see how we can start to leverage either Blue Sky, AT Protocol, or Mastodon, or Warpcast, Farcaster, or all of them. We may do implement all of them. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to come back to that. First, let's do roast or bud. All right, here we go. Okay, Wiener Refactor. That was good. Yeah. Yeah, why it's still challenging. Major Refactor. Yep. That's coming up. All right, Rose. Yeah, I took a little bit of a break on Thursday. I needed like take a step back. So it's been almost a week since I've been on. And I needed to take a little step back. I did that. It was good. Enjoyed a little time for myself. And then Friday, Ro came by and we had a good in-person meeting and we talked about a bunch of stuff and met with some super interesting people and some folks from our previous roles. And starting to feel like things are kind of coming together. Yeah. Oh, stop it. And I'll talk about this a little bit. But I think we have a better idea of what Jump Rope Labs is, how it's going to operate, and how and when we're going to potentially fund it, and how StreamTooth and Moni and RoarScore fit into it, as well as potentially other things, other new ideas. So that's good. Angela and I took our son Wyatt to see the Sonic 3 movie yesterday. I would say it's a bit unpleasant, but we made it through. I'm not going to put it on a thorn, but I'm glad it's done. I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. Sonic 3. It's somewhere between these two. He had fun. He enjoyed it. That was the important thing. What else is going on? It's cold. It's so cold. So cold. And our house insulation is not great. But we had someone come by and they're going to make it better. So cold, but that's also a bud. My God, some days this thing works great and some days it works real bad. It was a real bad day. And you should see my hand is contorting to try to write on this thing. I really like this mode, but it's very frustrating when it doesn't work. Oh, it was so fun playing with the dogs and the snow. Dogs and snow, super fun. That was a Rose. That's good. That's good. Wait, before I move on, let's go ahead and ship this to the Discord. Export. Discord. RTB post. Okay, I assume that worked. Let's go here and make sure. Why is this so big? You don't need to be that big, sir. Sir. Oh my God. Okay, good. Okay, very good. Okay. Next up. Oh, let's show off RoarScore. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that now. Let's do that now. Where do I have this? Magic missile. Oh, you know what? There's a public URL. I could just look at it there. I gotta set up the domain for this. That's another thing I could do. Let's just use the public URL. I don't care if you guys fool around with it. Yeah. I don't like that one that much. I'm going to take it out. All right. See, I need this set up, but here's where we're at. Oh, he's sad. He's sad. Score is low. This is the thing we were working on. It didn't actually change too much from where we left off. I cleaned up some of the numbers. And I didn't do the fire routine, but I added a nice little background and added the number. Oh, crappy. You can't see it at all. All right, hang on. Hang on. Again, OBS, because I didn't leave my graphics settings exactly the same, it decided that they're all new. Okay, let's try this again. Let's go back here and let's just reload the page. All right, there we go. Sad, sad, sad. Hit the home run. Bam, he's so happy. Big spike. And then you see the other two fans of the other team, they're upset, so then it evens back out. And then here's the stock footage. Okay. This is still my favorite guy. He's the best. All right, that's that. Check. That's where we left off roar score. We were gonna show it off today. I guess that should be a thorn. I was supposed to be in the city today, this morning. We're supposed to have a meeting to show this off with some potential customers. And that ended up getting canceled because of weather and sickness and other things. But there's no reason to thorn that, because that's just how it goes. That's just how things go in this world. All right, so that is Rorschach. Let's talk about jump rope. Okay. So jump rope. Maybe I'll go back to this screen. Let me go back to here. And let's do a new window and see if I can write. There we go. So jump rope, right? Jump rope is... It's so weird. Oh. Okay. Can I clear the page? Clear the page. Okay. So weird, this thing sometimes. Let me unplug this thing. Because this is all Wi-Fi anyway, so maybe if I do it back here, I do it like this. Maybe if I do it like this, it'll work better. Huh? Here's hoping. All right. So jump rope labs. Okay. Maybe if I move my palm down. So this is kind of like we've been spending a lot of time talking about this. We started this organization. It's a company. It's an LLC. And we actually formed two companies. One for Moni. And we wanted to explicitly form that as its own thing because we already have some interest from Toyota and we're doing things and things are happening and it needs to be its own thing. But we had these other things cooking like StreamTooth and RoarScore and potentially other things. And so we had, let's just like have a umbrella LLC. Jump rope. Justin Rowe. And the more we've been kind of going down the path, the more we're kind of realizing like we kind of want to keep going with the concept of jump rope and have it be more than just like somewhere to shove stuff where we don't know what to do with it yet. And what we've arrived at, and I think Ro did a really good job of expressing this, is it's kind of like in between a fund and a startup. So like a fund is a place where you get resources, like a VC.
Here's a story about infection. Once upon a time, Pote__Snow decided to tackle the world of coding like it was an adventure. Everything was going smooth until one day the code caught a bug, an infection if you will. Every line seemed to go haywire, causing chaos in the digital realm. So there they were, battling this virtual pestilence like a heroic figure in a sci-fi movie. After endless debugging sessions and more caffeine than a human should consume, victory was theirs. With lessons learned and code cleaned up, Pote__Snow emerged. And like a startup, you get hands-on help to build something cool. It's kind of like the ultimate support network for ideas that need a little push. You know, the kind of thing where you bring your big dreams and we help polish them up into reality. Don't worry though, I'm sure it'll be easier than wrangling rogue code or watching Sonic 3 again. But hey, at least Wyatt loved it, right?
That's like an idea salad. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of like in between these two things where we've got our own ideas, but we also have people who we've worked with in the past and people who we really like, and they're interested in working with us again. And they're coming in with their own like ideas for startups. And so we want to be able to support that. We want to be able to support our ideas. And so what we're starting to think is we may go out and get some funding for this concept. And we have this like set of criteria for people and ideas coming into the fold. And so for, you know, let's say we have a friend who we've worked with in the past and they have an idea that they want to work on, but they're afraid to kind of like go out into the world and do it on their own or find their own co-founder or go through this whole process because it is daunting, especially the very first time. So the way it would work is you come in and you bring your idea, and then we would say like, well, it'd have to be something that Ro would like to sell. So let's write this down. Ro would like to sell. Something I would like to build. Has some paper testing. And what I mean by paper testing is some kind of POC. Either you did a fully manual process with like a friends group, or you built like a super lightweight POC and you shopped it around to potential people. Like it's got something more than just an idea. It's got some work behind it. And then the person, it'd be a person we would hire, because we would have basically be hiring. Right? And they're coming in to work on that and other things within the network. They split their time. They're dual capped. They have multiple roles. That's kind of where we're at. Now, it's still very fluid. And we have no idea if anyone's going to like want to do this, pay for this, invest in this. But we're not even going to, we're going to continue to be in like bootstrapping mode. And there will be a set of conditions where once we think we are underwater or close to underwater with the amount of work that we need, the amount of stuff that needs to get done in a short term, how stretched thin I am, how stretched thin Ro is, that's when we'll know, okay, now we need to stop, go bring in some cash. And what we may do is try to have all that like kind of teed up. That's more Rose's department than mine. But I'm kind of excited about this like as a concept. We'll see. It may not work out perfectly. Things rarely do, but I'm kind of excited where this is at right now. So that's that. Okay. Now StreamTooth. All right. So StreamTooth, I've had this very sort of purist mindset of StreamTooth. And let us do another new page. This is working better with it in my lab. Okay. So StreamTooth, if you think about, if we have sort of a spectrum of like sort of network independence, I guess. If we have like a pure peer-to-peer on this end, and all the way over here, we've got like, I don't know, like, I guess television, like a TV studio, or like traditional media, right? This pure peer-to-peer media doesn't exist yet, right? Like the closest thing we have to that is like Google Meet, Skype, things like this. Not really media at all. It's just calls, right? Telephony is where we exist, is what exists here today. So media. Right? And then somewhere in here is like, you know, right here would be like YouTube, Twitch. It's walled garden, you know? Undo. Let's do it better than that. Twitch. Walled garden. Right? So traditional media, you have no access. YouTube, Twitch, you have access, but you're at the mercy of their algorithm, right? So you can shout, and this is the public square, right? You can shout into the wind all you want. Nobody cares, right? Unless you know somebody, you were in super early, you get super lucky, or you have something else. Like otherwise you're just shouting into the wind. And that's what most people do, is shout into the wind on these platforms. And then you've got sort of this emerging stuff where it's like federated. And you know, like Blue Sky and Mastodon, and I gotta learn more about how Farcaster works under the hood, but it's fairly, my understanding is that it may be federated, it may be more pure peer-to-peer, but it's all gets real confusing when you get into crypto land. And so this is where I was trying to position StreamTooth 1.0. But I need to move it here. And this will be StreamTooth 2.0 or 1.5. For a few reasons. One, because it's difficult, but two, because federated media is having a moment, right? There's Blue Sky's blowing up. There are other decentralized federated style services and platforms that are also growing in popularity, so it's having a moment. And so to get to that 2.0 piece, I need to ride some of that moment. I do think it's possible to get I do think it can be done to make the pure peer-to-peer play. But I do think I will spend so much more time just messing around with network stuff and so much less time focused on making sure the video works. That I think doing it in a two-stage process is probably the right move. So that's going to be sort of the next step for StreamTooth. So I'm going to back out some of the, like, I had this whole concept of there was messages that go through the shared backend, and then as soon as we can, we get off of that, and then we're signaling all peer-to-peer. I'm going to back all that out and just have this concept of a shared backend. And then that shared backend is going to be something that can support one or maybe more federated protocols. And then we'll go from there. So that's where we're at with StreamTooth. All right. Oops. Uh-oh. No. This one. This one. This one. All right. We did that. All right. So now we're going to do that next part. Okay. That worked better when I brought the iPad closer, like away. You know, I think part of the issue is that there's just a lot of electronic noise happening on this desk. It's a very big desk with a lot of electronics and a lot of wires. And I have a feeling that, like, sometimes the stray marks on my Bluetooth pencil are just, it's just radio noise. So I just need to, like, back up a little bit. That's a hunch. I don't know. I don't know enough about how Bluetooth works. Is there error correction? Could that even happen? I don't know. It did seem to work better. I'll say that. All right. So, great. So that's where we're at. I'm going to go here. Okay. We also got to work on our friend's timing. She tends to jump in with little stories. It's because no one else is talking. That's why. She's supposed to jump in when there's when there's like, it's just me monologuing too much. There's like a timer and it goes off and she's like, oh, I'm going to tell a little story. I'm going to say something random. But when I'm like actually having like I'm trying to get a point across, it's not great. So I got to figure that one out. How do I know when I'm just like talking because I'm writing code and I'm just trying to like talk as I'm doing it? And how do I know when I'm sort of trying to make a point and probably shouldn't interrupt? It's a good question. I mean, I guess we could use, I mean, it would, see, the problem is it's also a function of time. I guess I could do two things at the same time. So it's all ChatGPT under the hood, right? So at once I can have her generate the random thing. And you know what? I can actually just generate the random thing and have it like sitting aside, or like while it's idle, it could generate several random things and just have them sitting there ready to go. But then what I could also do is say, hey, what is, like, summarize what is being said into one of three things. And if it's this one thing, just random banter, then interrupt. Something like this. I don't know. Okay. What am I doing? StreamTooth. Here we are. Okay. Now, in the past, this has been a little bit of a pain in the neck for me to do testing on while I'm streaming. Hopefully that is, the last time we worked on this, we made some changes to fix that. So hopefully that's all good now. So the first thing we're going to do, let's go over to this machine. let's start up this OBS. I got my game maker stuff up here. Let's close this guy. Let's close this guy. Yeah, save it. Do that. Here's our test video. Close this game maker stuff. All right. We got our logs going.
Here's an anecdote about Mumbai. Pote Thunderstormers for no. And I once tried to set up a live stream from the bustling streets of Mumbai during a festival. Let me tell you, chaos doesn't even begin to cover it. The sheer noise and energy around us were so intense. I think a few of my circuits short-circuited just from the excitement. Amidst the sea of people, food stalls, and vibrant parades, we managed to capture only snippets before getting swept away by the festive crowd. Good times, but definitely not ideal for streaming clarity. The classic juggle of streaming and testing your masterpiece at the same time. Nothing like living on the edge. Just make sure you don't accidentally stream something embarrassing from those logs. You know, like your secret recipe for world domination, or worse, your browser history. Speaking of which, ever wonder why programmers prefer dark mode? Because light attracts bugs. Alright, I'll keep an eye out for any gremlins in the system while you get everything running smoothly.
That was interesting. Okay. All right, so great. So now we've got, I don't know if you can see that, but it says Stream Devel is live with 0 viewers. Stream Prod is live with 1 viewer. Great. Okay. Now, let us go back to Porcupine. And let's go back over to our guy here. Yes. How are we doing on time? 9 o'clock. Okay. StreamTooth. Firebase serve dash O 10, 12, 14, 6. Okay. 5003. Okay. All right. It still works. Great. Always a positive. Okay. All right. Now let's look at the code. This is all going to be in StreamTooth, the main thing. So there's this idea of a status message that each peer sends back. And when you get a status message, right, then there's a response to the status message to say, hey, there's this peer that I have not seen before. I'm going to try to send it an offer directly, or not directly, through the shared channel so that we can establish a data-only connection. So that's the part that we kind of need to like just nix for now. We'll leave the code there for setting up the data-only connections, but we just won't use it. So here's where it happens. Connect new peers. We're going to stop doing this. Collect peer status. Got status message from this person. Report. Connect new peers on the report. Okay. So we're going to just take these two things out. We're going to take this whole thing out. Start data connection to appear. Get unique peers. Yeah, okay. So I can leave this in. I'm going to comment it out just so it's clear to me that I'm not using it. Okay. Great. Now, I'm going to go back to ST messages. I gotta think about it. This is actually going to be more complicated than I thought. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Start peer data connections. Start peer data connections. Is this only called in one place? Yes. Okay. Because what will happen is when we have a significant set of peers, like so peers will try to connect to the origin, or the origin will respond to offers. That should be more correct. The origin will respond to offers until it reaches some limit. So in production, it's like 5. I can have 5 connections directly to the peer, whatever we configure it. And there's no data connections set up for those because the origin doesn't support it. Or it doesn't work like we want, to be honest. But the peer-to-peer connections, we still want peer-to-peer video. And that is, in fact, still establishing those data-only connections. And then ST messages will just go ahead and start using them. Now, maybe we want to not support that at all. Maybe we just want everything to go. I kind of think that's what we want. We don't even want to set up that data connection. So that's another thing we need to take a look at. And what we'll need to do is set up devel. I think devel is already set up to do only 2. But let's start with figuring out where that happens. Take that out. And then try loading some more peers up. Okay? All right. Add data channel. Okay, let's see what add data channel. Okay. Go back all the way up to SC connection. I was hoping to keep this all at a very high level, but it doesn't seem like that is going to work out. I guess we can leave it for now, because the big thing that I want to avoid is what was happening before, excuse me, is I went live, people tried to connect, and then when they were trying to connect, it was just creating like this firestorm of abandoned connections. So I'm trying to like shrink the number of connections. But I think the connections that I was trying to make were these like, let me open up a, in fact, I know it was this response to a status message, connect direct to peer. So I think it'll be okay now, because I think what we do now is it's the same connection. We're just adding another channel. Yeah. Okay. And we're gonna comment all this out. We're gonna send all the messages through. All right. Very good. Good enough. And then I guess what we can do as well is we don't send to data channels at all. Yeah, I'm sick of that song. All right. There we go. Bidding. All right. Okay, so let's reload this. Null said this. Great job, Null. And then let's start up. Let's go ahead and start up Safari on this machine. Okay. So it works. We got to figure, this is not supposed to be able to happen, but it's close enough. It's close enough. I know it's going to work, so I'm happy about that. I need to figure out like an election process. I guess I don't. See, that'll be one of the benefits here. See, what will end up happening is as I implement the federated setup, there will be more logic available on the back end. There will be a back end. And that logic will allow me to do things like decide where messages go, and decide where messages go, which means like I can intelligently design the peers and assign, hey, there's this offer that came in from this peer. This is for you. You connect it. You answer this, please. And then I won't have situations like this. You can't really see this. It's very small, but you know, the other machine, I have Safari on my other machine. It's also connected to the origin. It sent out an offer. Hey, I'd like to get some video, please. And this peer saw that and said, oh, I'll answer it. And so it created this connection. And now it's just sitting here in this connecting state. Now, eventually this will time out, but I'm surprised at how long it's sitting here.
Here's a joke about Frozen. Why can't you trust a snowman's data connection? Because they're always on thin ice.
Okay. All right. I gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back. Hey, Bobby, please start a break.
Sure, no problem. I'll just be here, practicing my virtual tap dance routine.
Hey, Bobby, please bring us back.
Welcome back. Hope your break was as refreshing as a well-timed coffee spill on a Monday morning.
Is a well-timed coffee spill on a Monday morning refreshing or not? They're getting weird. These responses. They're getting very strange. All right. Okay, so this thing was supposed to time out and never did. It's just like forever in this connecting state. Let's take a look. So it does have one out. Connection state is still connecting. All right, so let's go into peers. Connections. Answer. Peer connection. Yeah, connecting. Do we need to do our own timeouts? All right, finally, after a few weeks, I figured out the issue, which wasn't apparent in the code I included in my question, may still be useful for anyone who's having similar problems. I assumed that ice gathering was being completed after the on negotiation needed event fired and the offer answer was created. Because of this incorrect assumption, I was signaling the offer answer along with the ice candidates at this stage, but very frequently, always in iOS Safari in my experience, the offer answer was not yet created at this point. I solved this by creating two promises. For A, the completion of ice candidate gathering, and B, the creation of offer answer. I used promise all in the two promises, and when they both completed, I sent the ice candidates and the offer answer down through the signaling server all at once. This works, but of course, in the future, I should trickle this information by sending bits as pieces as they come instead of waiting for everything to fully complete. But I'll worry about that in the future, since at the moment, I'm using HTTP requests and it's too much of a hassle. My connection is always stuck when ice connections are included, so I've created a new question. But when local connections, when no ice suffers, and they're full. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't think that this is that. I don't think this is that. Let's go back over here. And if we look at, here's the answer. It's got the ice candidates. These are done. The answer is complete, 100%. All right. Ice gathering state complete. Okay. Got a local description. Local description has all the stuff in it. I think. Looks like it does. Let me see. Candidate. Candidate. Yeah, it's got candidates and it's got a bunch of them in there. Hmm. Okay. I think what I need to do is there's somewhere in here I've got like this code that cleans up stale connections, right? Yeah, here's the stuff. And what I needed to do is clean up these connecting connections as well. Let's see if we can do that. Clean this peer clean connections. Okay. How are we doing on time? 9:30. Okay. So what I'm going to do is in ST connection, I'm going to add this state change time is equal to new date get time. Okay, and then in here, this state change time is equal to new date get time. Wait, is that how we do it? I forgot. No. Got a headache. My head is aching. All right. State change time. State change time. Yes. Okay. Okay. And now in peers, clean connections. Let me actually put this logic in here. This logic belongs in here. Is stale connecting. Turn this PC connection state state connecting. And I think I actually have, yeah, I do. I have a property for that here. So I'll use that. And then, is connecting and stale. So stale will be new date, get time minus this, connection state time. What did I call it? State change time. How long do we want to leave it? A minute? Like a minute. Okay. It's connecting and stale. Okay. Now in this one, it appears if this connection sub I is connecting and stale, this connections sub I. Is there like a close? Disconnect. Disconnect. And is that a... No, okay. This connections splice I1. Okay. Let's start with that. Okay. All right, so now we reload this. Okay. Stale, not state. Now we reload this. No. Oh, terrible things have happened. All right. Empty caches. Oh no. Race condition. Oh, it's bad too. It's real bad.
Here's a fact about bouquet. The
Okay.
word bouquet originates from the old French term bosque, which means wood or thicket. It's like a fancy way to say you've got a bunch of flowers in one spot.
I don't see where it did the thing. I see that it got removed. All right. Interesting. Oh. Okay. Good enough. All right. All right, so the important thing is that these two peers are now connected to the origin, right? This one and this one. Okay, they're both connected to the origin. They are not trying to connect to each other with a data-only connection. Chat, although not authenticated and should not work when they're not authenticated, is still working. All right, we can also fix. So that's good. I'm realizing though, one side effect of this, and maybe it's okay, but one side effect of this is that on most platforms, all the walled garden platforms, you can watch a video without signing in. Right? You can just go on there and just start watching. You don't have to sign in. It will strongly encourage you to do that because they want to know who you are. But if we go full federated on this, we will no longer be able to do that because we will need to be authenticated to get into the network. But I think that's actually okay because the peer-to-peer nature of this is such that for it to work, for the video peer-to-peer part to work, I need to have some trust. And there'll be a whole mechanism for enhancing that trust through validation, and that's coming later. But the first part of that trust is being authenticated. And being authenticated through something where, you know, like with, you know, AT Proto, you know, you don't want to lose access to the account by being nefarious. So, okay. I think that's okay. Oh. All right, let me check my calendar. I might have to go. I thought this was at 10:30. It's at 10. Yes, it's at 10. All right. So we'll get in what we're going to do next time then. So this is okay here. What we're going to do next time is dig into this. We'll start with the AT protocol. It's very well defined. I've already looked at it a little bit. And then figure out, I think the biggest thing for me is I already kind of looked at this enough to have a good sense of how to do it. But how do you deal with ephemeral messages? So that'll be something we'll have to take a look at. All right, I got this call coming up in 9 minutes. I gotta go. I'm going to do this call and then do a little more work on my own. I'll be on tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully. I feel like there was something important happening tomorrow. Okay. Well, it looks okay. All right, so try to be on tomorrow, get some more work done on this. Excited about it. And until then, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for lurking.